Well, last year when I came to the Solomon Islands, I was really overwhelmed by the history, by the sacrifice, by the way that, that the Solomon Islanders and the Americans and our allies had all worked together so long ago. And I was overwhelmed by the fact that it was so long ago, but really it wasn't. It was a story that I grew up with. And I really wanted to come back to say thank you in a personal way to the families of the scouts who rescued my father. And so this year is the 80th anniversary of that event. And it's really meaningful to be here with my son, to meet the children and grandsons of the scouts who rescued him, and to recognize their bravery and their skill. And our family story wouldn't be the same without them, and I probably wouldn't even be here. So this is a really important trip for me personally, and I think also it's an important time for the U.S.-Solomon Islands relationship. So I'm glad to be here representing President Biden.
Ambassador Kennedy, it's hard to ignore geopolitics these days, and in your recent interview with Australia's RN Breakfast, you said that the United States sees great importance to reopen its embassies and re-engage in long-standing people-to-people ties, and that USA is excited to be back. Now, after all these years, Ambassador, why should Solomon Islands place its trust in the United States?
We want people to believe that that we are committed. And I think that we're just waiting for the Solomon Island government to give us permission. But we're eager to work on the unexploded ordnance issues, to help with climate change, education, Peace Corps. So I think it's too bad we weren't here, but we're here now, and I think we want to build for the future.
And you spoke a little bit about ordinances. Now, 80 years on since the World War II, the usual narrative is about liberating the islands from Japan. And what's often not talked about is how World War II paved the way for strengthening colonial control and the use of Pacific islands for military purposes. Some islands, if I can remember, that were used for nuclear weapons testing included the Bikini Atoll in the Marshall Islands, Kirismasi Atoll in Kiribati, among the others. Now, what's usually not talked about is what's left behind, including the UXOs, like you spoke about earlier. When Wendy Sherman, the Deputy Secretary of State, was here last year with you as well, she acknowledged the tragedies with UXO. But some Solomon Islanders say there is not much, or there's not many announcements on stronger commitment from the United States, part of cleaning its mess, and not only in Solomon Islands, but in other Pacific Island countries.
Well, the United States does have the largest program. We spend almost $700 million a year on this. We believe in taking responsibility for our actions. Wendy Sherman announced a commitment of $1 million, which is already being spent here. We have offered $2 million more to help with requests, and so we're just waiting for the sign-off from the government. But I think it's a commitment that we take very, very seriously. We recognize that there is a legacy, and also that that was a conflict that the United States didn't start either. So we too have a history that we lost a lot of people. We understand our commitment to this region and our responsibility to do whatever we can to improve the lives of the people here, so that they don't suffer from the lingering effects of the war. So I think that we're ready to help. We are already working on mapping this entire country. And so I think we'll see progress now.
Final question, the Solomon Islands and other Pacific Island countries, they rely heavily on aid and development assistance. Cook Islands Prime Minister last night told the ABC's The Pacific Show that Pacific leaders are amplifying their voices in the current geopolitical tussle for influence. Prime Minister Manasseh Sogavare continues to leverage support from donor partners for its development needs. What's USA's view on this?
Well, the United States is eager to sign a sort of a comprehensive development assistance agreement. USAID administrator has made that really clear, so we're just waiting for the Solomon Islands to agree. We have a lot of infrastructure funding that could be deployed here, hundreds of millions of dollars. So we're really waiting. We've offered a number of programs, Peace Corps, development assistance, climate change assistance. We are working in different provinces on climate change, sustainable farming. I met with women who are harvesting in a sustainable way and using that to support their families, to help educate their children. It's being funded by the United States. So we're here to listen. We have offered a number of initiatives in response to what we've heard from the community, but I think that's the way the United States, we want to find out what the Solomon Islands really wants and needs, and then we would like to meet those needs and help people improve their lives in the future of this country so that we can all work together.